Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're taking a thrilling journey back to Imperial Rome. Think gladiators, ambitious freedmen, and a private informer who seems to attract trouble like nobody's business.
Indeed. We're diving into a fantastic Roman mystery novel, Venus in Copper.
Mm.
And our mission really is to pull out the key insights, the feel of the time. It's a story of ambition, betrayal, and some very, very strange murders.
Absolutely. So if you've ever wondered what solving crimes or just surviving was like back then, how wealth and status played out,
Yeah.
well, you're in the right place.
And we'll be following Marcus Didius Falco. He's our protagonist. Sharp guy, very witty, always broke, often in trouble with the authorities, but he has this knack for finding the truth.
Yeah, he does.
What's really striking is how this Roman world, which seems so chaotic, power struggles, shifting loyalties, it just mirrors the complexities of human nature we still see today.
So true. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive right in. Where does Falco start? Not somewhere glamorous, right?
Oh, definitely not. He starts in La Tumie prison. Yeah, sharing a cell with, and this is a quote, a dust-colored masculine specimen of a rat.
Charming. How'd he end up there?
Well, he basically showed up the emperor's chief spy, enriches, a rather vindictive sort.
Ah, not a good move.
Not at all. It really highlights how risky it was operating, outside the official system in Rome. Even a private informer dealing with, like, adultery cases or business fraud, which is what Falco wants to do.
Right, the simpler stuff.
Exactly. He could still get tangled up in these huge imperial messes. It shows how precarious independence was.
So this opening really sets up his character, doesn't it? Resourceful, maybe, but definitely attracts trouble. Always clashing with authority.
Precisely. He wants his independence, wants control, but that's hard to come by in Rome. And the moment he's out, his mother bails him out, making him feel like a complete loser, naturally.
Moms?
He finds freedom has, quote, mixed joys, because reality hits money, or lack thereof.
Yeah, the landlord problem. Smaragdus.
And his thugs, yeah. Rodan and Ajax, they're waiting for the overdue rent. And his apartment, Fountain Court, described as just degrading, full of urine and old cabbageins.
Paints a picture. A smelly one. A big contrast to who he meets next.
A huge contrast. His next case pulls him right into the world of the newly wealthy.
These are the freedwomen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sabina Polia and Hortensia Attilia, living large on the Pintian Hill, very desirable location. They hire Falco because they're worried about their brother, Hortensius Novus, not a blood relation, more a business and social connection.
And they're worried about his fiancée, Severina Zotica.
They think she's a professional bride. Their words.
A gold digger, basically.
Essentially, yeah. They suspect she marries rich guys who then conveniently die, leaving her richer.
Yeah.
And they're convinced Novus is next on her list.
Okay, so this throws us right into that whole Roman social dynamic, doesn't it? Freedmen and freedwomen gaining wealth.
Absolutely. It was a huge phenomenon.
Yeah.
Former slaves could become incredibly rich and influential, but that came with anxieties, rivalries, prejudice from the old guard, but also among themselves.
Like Polia and Attilia. They climb the ladder, and now they're super protective of their status, the Hortensius Empire.
Mm-hmm. And their suspicion of Severina, this redhead, also an ex-slave, but seen as more cunning, more ambitious. It just screams social tension.
The accusation itself, professional bride, it must have tapped into real fears about losing fortunes to outsiders.
Oh, definitely. Especially for men who'd built something substantial. Marriage could be a vulnerability.
So Falco's got a real job on his hands here. Where does he even start digging?
He starts with Severina's past.
Yeah.
And for that, he needs Lucius, the praetor's clerk.
The praetor being like a senior judge.
Exactly. Responsible for judicial matters. And Lucius is this cynical but very efficient source of information.
And what does Lucius find?
A pattern. A very disturbing pattern. Severina started as a Thracian slave. Pass around a bit. Husband number 1, Severus Moscus, a bead threader. Dies of a heart attack. In the amphitheater, no less, Severina gets the business.
Look convenient.
Husband number 2, Gritius Fronto, animal importer, mauled by a panther in Nero's circus just 4 weeks after they married.
A panther. Seriously?
Seriously. Severina inherits a fortune. 500,000 big gold ones, apparently,
Right.
plus a parrot with a very colorful vocabulary.
Wow. Okay. Husband 3.
Eprius, an apothecary, dies from convulsions. Again, Severina inherits.
Each time she gets richer. And Lucius says the official investigations found nothing.
Nothing conclusive. And that's key. It shows how Roman justice could be, well, fallible. Especially if no one important was pushing it.
Yeah, details get missed. Maybe deliberately sometimes. Wealth talks.
It could. Official reports might smooth things over, which is why Falco's methods, the unofficial ones, are so important.
He goes beyond the records.
He does. He even visits Tyche, a Greek
His
astrologer.
astrologer, what for?
Turns out Severina bought horoscopes for herself and Novus. And Tyche revealed Severina's next husband was predicted to outlive her in old age.
Huh. So Severina's maybe trying to shape perceptions. Or she actually believes this stuff.
Maybe both, using omens controlling the narrative. He also finds out she ordered a tombstone from a mason, Scaris.
A tombstone. For Novus already.
Well, initially it was framed as a subscription effort, but yeah, it's another little detail that suggests planning.
Man, while he's juggling all this, his own life is still a mess, right? Anacre is still after him.
Oh yeah, the chief spy hasn't forgotten. He's got spies watching Falco's old place in Fountain Court.
So Falco moves.
He does. Leases a much nicer apartment in Piscina Publica. Bit of a dodgy letting agent, Casas, but it's a step up.
A symbolic move, maybe? Trying to build something better?
I think so. His family even helps out, brings furniture. It feels like he's trying to create a real home, a foundation.
Maybe even with Helena Justina. She's becoming important.
Very. This contrast is fascinating. He's digging into this dark, dangerous case. But personally, he's seeking stability. Maybe even love with Helena.
And Helena's not just passive, is she? She gets involved.
She really does. She's smart, compassionate, challenges him. She even goes undercover, which is pretty remarkable for a senator's daughter.
Wow.
She gathers info on Polia and Attilia. It shows you needed a real partner, an ally, in Falco's line of work.
Okay, so things are complex. Falco's trying to move up, and then the case takes another turn. Novus.
A dramatic one. Hortensius Novus turns up dead after a dinner party.
And Severina. Where was she?
She'd been in the kitchen earlier, giggling about cakes with the cook, Viridovix. Made some menu suggestions, but she left early, claiming she felt unwell.
Convenient again.
Extremely.
Mm.
Falco questions Viridovix, the cook. He admits Severina gave him a special cake to take to Novus's room, supposedly to smooth over a quarrel.
A special cake. Uh-oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But before Falco can really dig into that, Viridovix dies, poisoned. And Falco realizes, with horror, he might have accidentally caused it. He gave Viridovix a drink,
Oh, no.
seasoned with some spices he'd found, unknowingly poisoned, in the Hortensius dining room.
Oh, that's brutal. Just highlighting the chaos, the accidental consequences.
Absolutely. One small action, huge tragedy. And suspicion immediately falls on Severina, right? Given her track record.
Has to.
But as Falco digs, it gets more complicated. Turns out Novus had found something out about his brothers, Felix and Crepito.
The business partners.
Yes, they were in league with this ruthless property tycoon, Appius Priscillus.
Priscillus. Okay, new player.
Big player. And they were running a multiple pledge fiddle.
Oh, what?
Think of it like a sophisticated mortgage fraud, using the same properties as collateral for lots of different loans. A real house of cards.
Okay, very illegal. Very
Extremely.
strong.
And Novus was going to dissolve the partnership, marry Severina, go solo.
Which would ruin Felix and Crepito
Mhm.
and Priscilla.
Devastate them financially. Priscillus especially had zero tolerance for dead partners. So suddenly you have this massive motive for murder, completely separate from Severina's potential gold digging.
Wow. Okay, so it's a business conspiracy now.
It looks like it, a much broader plot.
And just when Falco's probably reeling from that discovery, disaster strikes him personally.
Right when he least needs it, his brand new apartment collapses.
Collapses, just falls down.
Pretty much. A miscalculation by our civil engineer, according to Casas, the smarmy lighting agent.
Unbelievable. Anyone hurt?
Tragically, yes. An old lady on the 4th floor dies, and Helena Justina, who is presumably visiting Falco,
Oh, God.
she narrowly escapes.
That's terrifying. And it wasn't just bad luck, was it? This points to bigger issues.
Absolutely. It's a scathing comment on Roman construction standards, or lack thereof. Developers like Priscillus, they cut corners constantly. Cheap materials, shoddy work. Building collapses were common, especially for the poor.
So your safety literally depended on your address, your status.
Completely.
Yeah.
And guess who turns out to be the negligent landlord of Falco's collapsed building?
Let me guess. Priscillus.
Appius Priscillus himself.
Oh, way. The connection.
Falco is furious. He confronts Priscillus, accuses him right then and there of murdering Novus,
How does Priscillus react?
predictably badly. He denies it, of course,
Yeah.
but in his rage, he has Falco brutally beaten up.
Jeez. That confirms how dangerous Priscillus is, and how Falco's personal and professional lives are just dangerously tangled.
Utterly intertwined. One minute you're investigating a murder, The next, your own house falls down because of the killer. Welcome to Falco's Rome.
So how does Falco piece it all together? The murders, the collapse, Priscilla, Severina.
Right, this is where it gets really complex. He figures out Priscilla did poison Novus, working with Felix and Crepito. They used excellent Falernian wine.
To stop Novus blowing the whistle on their fraud?
Exactly. Priscilla probably wanted to silence the whole Hortensius group, consolidate his gains, and poor Verdovix, the cook, was just collateral damage.
Killed accidentally when Falco used those poison spices Priscilla had planted?
Correct. But Severina, she wasn't just an innocent bystander in all this.
No. What was her role?
She played everyone. She subtly nudged both the Hortensius women and Priscilla towards using poison. Kind of planted the idea.
Why? What was her motive, if not just the money?
Revenge. Deep-seated revenge. For her slave lover, a man named Cerinthus.
Her lover.
Yes. Apparently Cerinthus was crushed to death by a collapsing wall on a property owned by Hortensius Novus.
Wow. So Novus was indirectly responsible for her lover's death. It all connects: greed, revenge, business.
A total tangled web. Novus killed for business reasons by Priscillus, Verdovix died by accident, and Severina was manipulating things for vengeance.
Okay, that explains Novus. But what about her first husbands? Were those actual accidents, or?
The final reveal. This comes from Lucius, the clerk, putting the last pieces together.
Go on.
Eprius, the apothecary, husband number 3, murdered. Severina used a suppository. Yeah, a suppository for piles, disguised as a cough lozenge. She knew he was vain about his condition. It's horribly insidious.
That's incredibly calculated. And the Panther guy, Gricius Fronto.
Husband number 2, the Panther accident. Total fabrication. Lucius gets confirmation from Salia, a contortionist.
A contortionist? How does she know?
She confirms someone unlocked the Panther's cage and trapped Fronto inside.
Yeah.
And that someone, likely Cerinthus, Severina's lover, before he died.
So Severina wasn't just a gold digger reacting to opportunity. She was a long-term planner. A killer seeking revenge for Cerinthus, using each husband's death to fund the next stage, maybe.
Precisely. Calculated, methodical murder, exploiting the system's weaknesses, driven by this old wound. It's a mix of cold greed and passionate revenge.
So with all this figured out,
Yeah.
how does Falco get justice? Can he even prove all of it, especially against someone like Priscilla?
That's the thing. Official channels probably won't cut it for everything. Priscillus is too powerful. So Falco, well, he delivers his own kind of justice, Falco style. He blackmails Pollia and Attilia. Uses their complicity in the Novus situation and their own dodgy business dealings.
Blackmail. What does he get?
A very hefty endowment for Helena's school, which, let's be honest, is really funding for him and Helena. He gets them to pay for his silence.
Ha! Pragmatic. What about Severina?
He hands over all the damning evidence about her past murders, Eprius, Fronto to Lucius. He ensures her past will catch up with her through the official system, even if Priscilla evades it for Novus's death.
So it's messy, morally gray, some justice, but not perfect textbook justice.
Very much so. It reflects the reality of Rome. Power matters. Influence shields you. Falco does what he can do.
What a roller coaster. Through all that chaos, what happens with Falco and Helena?
They find their way back to each other, stronger, maybe. Helena, being incredibly practical and loyal, basically takes over his finances.
Someone needs to.
Right. And she moves into his apartment, assuming it gets rebuilt properly this time.
Let's hope so.
Their relationship, it's forged in danger, built on respect. It's a real partnership, quite unique for the time, perhaps.
And there's that final gesture, right? The fish.
Ah, yes. The turbo. A fancy fish he got as payment earlier. He gives it to Helena's father, the senator.
Who probably despises Falco.
Up till now, yes. But giving this expensive fish, it's a grand gesture. Very Roman. It's about showing respect, showing he can provide. It's like seeking acceptance, or at least grudging approval.
A sign that maybe, just maybe, things are looking up for Falco personally.
A glimmer of hope, definitely.
So this deep dive into Venus and Copper, it really throws you into Roman life, doesn't it? The mystery, the society.
It really does. You get such a vivid picture. The ambition of freedmen, the sheer ruthlessness of business, what people will do for love, money, or revenge. It's all there.
Yeah, and Falco's journey. He's cynical, sure, but he ends up delivering a kind of justice the system couldn't or wouldn't.
That's a great point. It reminds you that justice isn't always clean-cut. Sometimes you need someone unconventional, someone sharp, to cut through the lies.
You've really seen how one guy had to navigate this incredibly corrupt, dangerous city, but one full of life, too. He kind of imposes his own order on the chaos.
He does. So maybe something to think about. In a world like that where law often bends to power, where the reputation is currency,
Mm,
what does being moral actually mean?
good question.
And what lines are you willing to cross like Falco had to protect what matters most to you, even if it's not strictly by the book?